Greetings, listeners, and welcome to another action-packed episode of Eberron Adventures, brought to you by the Wednesday Night Crew. Join us as we take a journey and go on adventures with our favorite students from Windshire University. Lukar, a halfling sorcerer with wild magic that comes from his patron. Sibling? Patron? Well, anyway, her name's Astrid. Skogar, a half-orc bounty hunter with a passion for map-making and painting. But not painting portraits, more like fences and walls. But maybe he has a secret or two of his own. Azuri, a Kalashtar cleric hiding from the dreaming dark. Kashann, a changeling that is a roguish paladin with his own agenda. Lissa, a human wizard who is into mage breeding and has a familiar named Bigwing. And last but not least is Velma, a half-elf rogue who has an investigative streak and a dark magic dagger. So join us as we listen to these adventurers as they work through their studies and their extracurricular activities to, dare I say, become heroes? Let's pick up where we left off.
All right, so welcome back. Session 6, I believe, in year 2. We are going on a quest, and this quest is for Kashann to fulfill. But I'm sure that we'll have some additional fun along the way. Just not sure exactly what that fun's going to entail just yet, but I am sure that we will find out soon enough. So, as I recall, we have in the last session we discussed the plan, the approach. I'm going to pull up the map, share screen, and talk about what that plan looked like and go from there. So give me 1 second. Such a highly detailed map. It takes forever to scroll all the way in. It's nice. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
Excellente. All right. So, what we talked about was that, you're here in Windshire and you were talking about going to Olaf, as I recall.
Right. And then making our way back up to Flame Keep.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That sounds about right. And I believe that there was we had Olaf. There's an apothecary franchise in that town, right? Lukar, that's correct as well?
Yeah, I believe that some of my cousins set up shop there, all throughout Thrain. They're the discount drug mart of Thrain.
They save you the runaround.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. So that's cool. Get a pen. All right. So then the question is, if we look at the way this map is laid out, just to kind of talk through some stuff here. So you're currently in Windshire. We're going to say that it is, because if I recall, Kashann was like, well, since I'm not going to get any bonus days off or any forgiveness on any quizzes or exams or anything, that just going to make this a weekend trip, was kind of where we left that off. So, how do you guys propose getting from Windshire to Olaf? Any thoughts?
The teleportation crystal in the top of the wizard school.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you knew about that.
Well, I figure they must have one.
All right. Let's see here.
So Lukar, they give you they sell you the teleporter pass yet? Or is that they only sell they sell it to the freshmen incoming?
Right. I don't have that, but I do have the pool pass and access to the bar in the basement. I think that's what these passes do. Somebody sold them to me.
So
Doesn't
So-
only Rexhaven, whatever our crosstown rivals, aren't they the ones with the teleporter?
Arcanics.
Yeah.
Arcanics.
I mean, that's a good question.
They're
so
the ones with the transporter. Why would we have one?
So, like, out of all of you, though, who would have like the? I mean, I imagine Kashann would have somewhat of an inside track, but like, and Lucar, you're probably you don't tend to want to spend a lot of time in the school, right? As you stated many occasions.
Sure.
So I feel like if anybody could have the potential to know more about this, it would probably be, I feel like it would probably be Lissa.
Yes.
Or Azuri. Lissa, just because she likes taking labs and she's double majoring and she's like working her butt off. And Azuri just because he reads constantly. So why don't
I feel like Kashann would also have done some exploring in,
Right.
of everywhere, really.
Okay. So then fair. So then why don't we say let me think here. Why don't you do an Arcana check, Lissa and Azuri? Or no, Azuri, you can do a history check.
It's not going to matter what the check is. The dice says 2.
Oh
Okay.
no.
So
I
you
got a
don't-
17.
The dice are
Okay.
like, nope.
So Lissa, you recall that so basically Kashann like kind of comes up to the group, right, and is like, all right, yeah, like we're ready to go, let's do this, and we're gonna use that cool teleportation portal thing on top of the school. Everybody else sort of looks kind of confused. And what does Lissa think? So it's with a 17, because that's a success, by the way.
Okay,
So-
okay.
Play that as you will.
Oh man, only the juniors and seniors are allowed to use that transportation stone. But I mean, we could like try to sneak in and do it. I know when Professor Breakstone won't be up in his office near the door. We can sneak by. And yeah, that's a great idea. Why haven't we used that before?
You know what? When I found out about it, I was like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
I was in here just this summer painting it, so I didn't realize that's what you guys were after. I knew this was in here. I spent like 4 days
Wow.
in here.
No
Um,
kidding.
I do know though that some of those window sills along the edge, their locks are old and broke, so could always just tiptoe around.
This is why I keep you guys around.
Now, this portal stone, is it offer return trips, or is this a one-way thing? And then we have to find a way back.
Well, listen, guys, I know why we haven't used it before. We know what the punishment is if we get caught using it while we're when we're not of age here, and we haven't taken the proper safety course for it. If we get caught
I
trying
know
to
how
use
it works. We'll be fine.
Melissa knows how it
Are you
works.
really sure?
And I'm pretty sure unless there's another transportation stone in Olaf or Danhaven, we'll just have to.
I mean, yeah, taking lightning rail back is no biggie.
Yeah, but
why-
it will save some time.
Why spend all this time going there? Yeah, like
I mean,
Yeah.
And
we
probably save some money too, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
But you guys have heard the stories of what happens if you don't use it right, and it was like you remember that story that their heads got swapped, and then it was a whole ordeal trying to switch their heads back to the right bodies.
That actually
and
might be helpful for my mage breeding experiments.
I am looking
It
around.
wouldn't
the
be
group,
helpful for me.
wondering,
At this
What
point, I
would my
changed
head
to
look
just make
like
my head
on-
look like Azuri's head.
What Velma? What were you trying to say?
I was just wondering what would my head look like on each of my colleagues if we got swapped. I was just doing
That's
a thought experiment.
That's an interesting predicament.
I could make that happen, Velma. I could literally show you.
So you guys are having this conversation as you're basically going upstairs, up the
Yes.
different levels of the of the school that's bigger on the inside.
Mhm.
And you're passing by some, like, let's say you're seeing some doors. You're passing by some doors and some hallways on the way upstairs that you never noticed before. What are some of those? What might some of those signs read on the doors?
Oh, geez. uh,
Or Lucar. Lucar can
yeah,
also
I don't
answer.
know.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. I think there's an organ room, and you just know that that's organs for like different creatures.
It must be for the bard school, right? Like playing an organ.
Exactly.
Oh no, not that kind of organ, Kashann.
Dr. Fibes plays in there.
Listen, all I know is most of them say danger, keep out, and I listen to those signs. I read those signs and I listen to them.
I can't bring myself to believe that there's a teleportation portal on the roof and there's no elevator in this.
Well, that's
building.
because your upper level classmen, they have flight, so they can just fly up. They don't need elevators.
Mhm.
It's it's just one of those things. They didn't think about it,
Or they
They
can do
don't-
those like short teleportation spells.
Right? Yeah, or like
Yeah.
float, whatever it is. Yeah, and so like they don't really. They never thought like we should put an elevator in for anybody because nobody else is going to be walking up there. It actually makes more sense. Why would you like? Anybody can then take an elevator up to the place, and that's what they definitely don't want that.
So yeah, so you get to the top. You're at the top floor, and you see a door that is clearly marked as roof exit to rooftop. And you see there's a couple windows leading to the outside of the building, top floor. And what would you like to do?
So is it on the roof or is it like on the top? I thought it was just on the top floor.
Oh no, on the roof. There's like a little canopy over it, or gazebo, whatever you want to call it, to protect it from the
Alright,
elements. But yeah.
Well,
So
like
I've-
Azuri says, we should just follow the signs that say danger.
restricted access.
Not what I'm saying.
It's just what would Azuri do, and then do the opposite of that. That seems like the play here. So then, okay.
So
And
I
now-
say we just rush through. So if there's any kind of alarm, we can just get to the teleportation stone before anyone catches us.
In a quick,
That's a good idea because I rolled a 1 for stealth.
quick retroactive.
I seem to have stepped into a waste paper basket.
No, your shoes are squeaky.
Clang.
Your shoes are squeaky in that metal garbage can that you can step in.
Quick
I hear squeaking and clanging.
retroactive question. Because I think we established this in the last session, was that Lissa got Astrid and brought her along, right?
Yes.
Yes. So Astrid is with the group. So yeah. So so at this point, she's finally left your shoulder and she's standing over by Lucar. And Lucar, you feel like a tug on one of your cargo short pockets. like
Hey, Astrid, what's up?
yeah, you I don't know about this. I'm no scaredy cat like your cleric guy over here. She points at Azuri. But I just let's you and me not get too far apart with this whole transport thing, okay? Let's keep an eye on that.
Lucar says, okay. Sean
she goes-
says, I don't like this at all.
When you say okay, she goes, unless you want to be in a puppet body, we gotta kind of,
Again, no, I don't want to be in a puppet body. Sean says, yes, I am very afraid that I'm going to transform Astrid's puppet body. This is going to be some sort of the Fly situation. I'm not looking forward to this. Well, Lucar, I'm sure, or Lucar. Well, Astrid, I'm sure that there won't be any problems. And if there is, with all your powers, you can get us out of a jam if necessary. So
I mean,
we just can't be away from school too long, and this is the quickest way to get to where we need to go.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a
There's
valid
not like
point.
the express train to Olaf like there was to where we got your puppet body. It was a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of out of the way. I mean, there's roads that'll get you there, but yeah, that takes time. That's fine. All right,
I mean, we don't want to miss class.
Let's do it.
It's very important for us to.
Let's do it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Is this going to be like Star Trek or Sliders? What am I expecting here?
It'd be really cool if we just all formed into just one body. Like, like somebody was like the arm, somebody was the other arm, you got legs, I'll form the head, that kind
I
of
get
stuff.
to be the sword.
It'd be pretty cool.
All right, so you're at a door.
Yep. All right, is everyone ready?
Yes, let's do
get
this.
in there.
Let's go. Melissa charges through the door. Hopefully.
Okay, so can you do a let me think here. I feel like athletics would probably be good.
Sure. Oh yeah, that's a really good roll. That's a 5.
So you run to the door and it's just like as you just hit the door.
Oh.
And you're like, oh man, my shoulder, like
ouch. That's like a wall there. Not
anybody else want to give it a shot?
Yeah, give it a pull. Like, is it locked? Is that the issue? Like, I tried just the knob.
After seeing her crash and burn, I'd like to check the knob.
Just to see if like it opens on its own. Yeah.
Yeah. So you check the knob and it opens as you pull it open.
Oh man.
I'm sure you loosened it, Liz. I'm sure that's.
She's just shaking her head.
So you go in.
I open it in. Yeah.
Okay. You see a set of stairs in front of you. I'm assuming you go up those stairs, and then you get to the top. There's another door. That door is open, and you open that door as well, and you see yourself on the rooftop of the magic school, and you can see pretty far. Like you can see pretty deep, south towards the Duskwood, and you can even start to see further out. Like you swear you can almost make out some of the lights in Fairhaven. Like that's how high up you are, and you're like, I swear this building was not that tall from the outside. Like this is so weird. And in the center of this, in the center of the rooftop is this big, it's like, well, obviously it's actually not, it's a pergola that's over the top of it.
Yeah.
So it's more artistic than it is functional. Because I mean, it is a rather gigantic transportation device. And Kashann, you seem to have known a lot about it. So what does this look like?
Oh, it's like it's almost like a circle, like that it's got like ruins on going up and down and on the sides. It's almost got like a control panel like right in front of it. So you put the coordinates or whatever in, and then you walk through the portal, walk into the circle and then go on the other side. So like in the middle of this pergola is just this open circle, and just looking through it, you could just see, you could see the lights. It doesn't, it's not active now, but once you plug it in, that's when, it activates.
Okay. So then, so are you taking the action to get it set up then?
I mean, I'll definitely take a look at
it. Or is Lissa assisting? Like, how's this going to go down? What are we?
I mean, I'm
going to
take
do
a look
to get it going?
I'm sure if I just plug in Olaf, right? Like that's just right. That's all I gotta do. And I'm gonna go check out the control panel and plug away.
All right. So you check out the control panel, and it's a pretty. It's pretty basic. It has like a number pad, but on the number pad it's got the number, and then it's got 3 letters underneath each number. So you can do, so it's if you get the impression that there's multiple ways that you could enter this information in. So, and then you see that there's a there's a one crystal that looks like it's a button, and it's clearly marked e-stop. And then you see on the other side there's like a green crystal, and that's really the controls on this like panel. But it's not like a panel up here, it's like a panel that comes out, right? That sits like kind of, so it's like almost like a little manual, like a little keyboard sticking out. Yeah, what do you want to do? You want to try to just type it in?
That's what I'm going to try to do. Yeah.
All right. So as you start to type, and you use a number pad. So like you find the number that has the O in it, and you press it, and you see that like there's like a little hologram image that kind of pops up above. That's sort of like changing letters as you type things in. And yeah, you type in Olaf, and then what?
I push that gem button, to get it.
The green one.
Yeah, that green one.
Yeah.
Green means go.
So as you do that, now are we saying this is what time of day is this at the beginning of the weekend? Is it like, did you start out in the morning? Like,
no, I would think that we'd leave on a Friday evening.
Okay.
Like it'd be twilight
like 4,
or dark.
5, yeah.
Okay. So that's fine.
There's a beautiful sunset that we could see.
So like, would we say, is it dusk or is it like night?
We'll call it dusk.
Okay. Yeah. So as the sun sets in the background, and you see the nice, orangish to like purpley blue, and then dark, like, gradient, right, of colors. You hit that green button, and just the entire the portal thing just lights up this really bright green, and like all the runes that are around the edge just sort of start to spin around it, and then this super bright white light shoots up into the sky, like from out of that portal, similar to how, if anybody's seen it, go ahead.
Someone might know that we're using this tonight.
It is possible. And as you say that, there's a cutaway, and you see Dean in his office, and he looks out his window, and he's like, "Oh, God damn it!" And he just goes and writes something down on his notepad, and he's like, and he said, it's probably that Kashann keeps doing this to me. I don't understand. I thought we were cool. And then it cuts back. Big white light, big open portal, and you can see on the other side of the portal that there's a destination in the other side of that portal. Like it's just, right. It just looks like a small cobblestone alleyway street, and like you see there's like some storefronts in the background.
All right, Luke, send Astrid through.
Astrid and I will go through together. We're so confident this is going to work.
And when you walk through, just turn around and give a thumbs up if you're alive.
We're
gonna do the old school Star Trek, like jumping into the edge of tomorrow thing, where you're like, "Whoa."
Yeah, she jumps up. As she jumps up to grab the back of your shirt to like hang on to you, right as you're getting ready to jump through, she turns around and flips Kashann the bird, and just like don't. She says, say what you will, but don't think I'm not taking notes on all this crap. And all up here, she points at her head, and as it makes a clicking noise as she taps her still wooden head.
I just pull out a gnomish lighter that I have, and I just light it.
Oh.
And yeah, so Lucar, you and Astrid jump through. And
as much as a puppet and a short halfling can jump.
Yeah. So it's like, so you go like this, you go, and you jump over the portal.
We barely clear the 3-inch portal line.
Exactly. Yeah. You can feel your toe almost catch the bottom of it as you jump over it.
Make a dexterity check.
Right. Yeah, actually, yeah. Why don't you do that? Give me an athletics check.
Oh,
Let's see how
thank you, Kashann.
suave this happens. I like that idea.
Oh, not bad at all. Do you say athletics?
Yeah.
15.
Okay. You finesse it. You get over just fine. To where it actually catches Skogar's eye, and he's like, "Oh, Lukar's been working on his moves." And so you get through, and you're able to recognize actually that you are in Olaf, and only because like you've seen some pictures of like some of the areas that your mom was scouting out for a store location like a while back, right? So because she's been in communication with you on this stuff, so you see that you're in like part of the town square of Olaf, and the it looks like it's it's not dusk anymore, and you start to see as you're on the other side, you can see that it's starting to become dawn, but on the other side it's nighttime where they are. But you're good to go. You made it through. Are you going to signal to them?
Yeah, I'll wave through everybody else.
Okay. So he waves to you guys. So who's going? Is everybody going? Is somebody sticking back? Like what are we doing?
Well, the green light on it is flashing faster, so we all got to get through before the landings. We're out of the landing zone. I'll go next.
Yeah,
I'll just step over. I don't have to jump over anything because I'm not a halfling.
I'll let Alyssa go, and then I imagine that I'm kind of like waiting for Azuri. Like, come on, Azuri, come on, let's just do it. Everybody's doing it. Come on.
Yeah, after much persuading, Azuri like cautiously steps through and just goes,
Part of me,
as long as my head doesn't end up on your body.
Part of me thinks that
Skogar
Skogar
safe
would
if
push.
it's one at a time.
Yeah, if it's one at a time.
I feel like Skogar would push Azuri through. I'm like, come on, man, let's go.
Even though
He
he's
is
already
kinda-
going through, you'll just shove him because that's who you are.
Yeah.
Then one at a time.
And I'm like, I wonder how this thing turns off, and then I walk through without even worrying about it.
So all of you are through. Like so Skogar, are you the last to go through?
He does. He tries to do like a cool moonwalk through. He thinks it's going to be kind of badass.
Okay.
And
That sounds like acrobatics to me.
okay, yeah. Ah, yes. He kind of trips as he goes through. Backwards.
Trips and starts to run backwards, right?
Yeah,
when someone's about to like fall, but they don't quite fall.
Yeah. So he kind of falls on his back.
And then you see Kashann, you can actually make out like an ethereal set of buttons similar to what was on the other side. There's the red, and then there's still the green, but the red looks like the only thing like that's tangible.
So push that red button then.
Okay. You push the red button, and like you hear like you can hear in the distance like a of like a lightning strike and then and it shuts down, and the portal is now gone.
Right.
You guys are all in Olaf, and it is
shit, that worked. Awesome.
It is, and it is dawn. So you did take a little bit of a time trip as well. So whether it was shorter or not, you'll have to find out from somebody like,
I grab the first bystander. I say, "What year is it? What year is it?"
and they say 9631Y or whatever this weird ass years that they do for Eberron is.
And I turned to everybody and said, "We did it. We made it to the future." And then I just leave it, just like pat them on the back and then watch it go away.
Yeah, so you're in the town square, cobblestone streets, nice understated shops and homes, giving off like a mixture of like like a little bit of Old English and like Salem, Massachusetts kind of vibes almost to the layout, but like more medieval and steampunky. So lots of stone, lots of not as much brick, more like stone buildings and stuff like that, and like and then a lot of like metal, some metal accents here and there. Some places have metal roofs, and there's different signs, for different shops. You've got like your standard, like your what do you call it, like your blacksmith. So you have an armory, you've got a weapon shop, those kind of things. So where would you like to go?
Well, I think I'd like to find like a mages guild, like a local mages guild or something, or some like or like a library or somewhere where mages would hang out.
Mm-hmm.
See if there's like a bar that they hang out in, because we're looking for wizards.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Is this a what were you going to say, Lucar?
I was going to say, hey, I think we might have missed a few meals with this time change. I wonder if we should find somewhere to eat before we do any investigating, because we don't know when we're going to be able to eat again. And as I'm saying that, I pull out a baguette out of one of my pockets and I'm eating it and saying, like, we need to go eat, right?
Well, let's find where the mages eat, the wizards eat, and we'll eat there, okay?
Good idea.
So you head you just kind of head down the cobblestone path. The cobblestone, like it's a narrow street, not really room enough. It's more for foot traffic than it is for like any actual like horse or magic coach type traffic, right? So you're walking down, you're seeing these signs, and it's like and there's like Eberron, Bibby Bop, and all these different like types of places that you could look to peruse. And then you come upon a sign, and it says FO. It's like an abbreviation. It says FOM, and then it says LOC 62. And
Friends of Mages, maybe
Fraternity of Mages.
So yeah, and it's like it's a very understated,
62, whatever it is.
It's a very understated, like wooden door. There's some windows. We can't really see through them that well. They're kind of tinted, like smoky. And yeah, you get the sneaking suspicion that this could be a place worth going into if you want to.
How's it smell, Lucar? Do you think do you smell like bacon cooking?
Do I?
What check is that?
Perception. I don't know.
I mean, I must have advantage on it, so whatever it is.
do a culinary perception check with advantage.
No, I only got 15, I think.
With that DC for you is going to be really low. So with a 15, you should be able to say back to Kashann exactly what you smell, like, and be as specific as you want to be.
Well, I definitely smell some sort of meat and sauerkraut sandwich thing going on. And additionally, there is somebody brewing a cauldron for a special, what is that? There's a
Pumpkin spice latte?
No. It's a little bit of newt. It's a little bit of bat wing. Maybe some amethyst shavings. Yeah, I think they're working on some sort of binding spell of some sort. Yeah. Yeah, there's food in here. Let's go.
Do they make their own pickles, do you think?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
That level of excitement.
No,
Astrid,
no, yeah, no way that they would not make their own.
Astrid like climbs up you, Lucard, to like sit on your shoulder.
Yeah.
And she's like, she claps her little wooden hands together, and they make a quack noise. And she's like, yeah, let's check this place out. This just feels like there's a lot of magic in there, man. Let's go.
At this point, I'm like pause. I'm like, maybe we don't go to the first place we find.
It is something of a red flag that Astrid wants to go in.
Yeah. Shit.
Did you say that out loud?
No.
Okay.
Reluctantly, I open the door to the FOM Log 62.
Yeah. So you're in the friends of magic. You walk into the friends of magic local chapter, and you see it's like there's just like long tables and stuff, and like just people eating Reuben sandwiches all over the place, and like just all kinds of cool stuff going on. And you can see in the far back, you can see there's like some people just doing some basic, like some potion work and stuff. And what else do you guys see when you walk in? Could add any additional color commentary?
Well, there happens to be a table with a bunch of puppeteers, and they're all like practicing with their little wooden effigies.
And there's definitely like a wall of aquariums full of lizards and insects and spiders and whatnot. Like
Yeah.
and each one has its own like climate. So like you look in one, there's almost like little winter snowstorm going on. Another one's a desert, and another one's like a humid jungle. So like each one is different, but each one's got its own unique exotic animal in it or creature.
Yeah. And then there are some familiars, so like cats and birds and dogs. And one of the cats is trying to get into one of the aquariums with a fish. Absolutely.
Oh, jeez.
And of course, all the dog familiars are humping each other because that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their dominance.
and over in the corner, there's like a poker table, and you can't see anybody there, but you do see like 4 hands of cards. And it turns out like each one of the spellcasters, so they don't give any tells while they're playing pokers, makes themselves invisible. So you just see hands of cards sort of floating around the table, and occasionally chips moving into the pot.
You also notice right to the right of the poker tables, there's 4 mages playing telepathic darts. And they're standing back and they're just throwing them. And Skogar just says, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a piece of this action." And he saunters that way.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
At this point, I would like to see if there's any tabaxis.
You see a couple, like what you think might be a couple scattered around. I mean, there's a lot of cloaked folks hanging out in here. A lot of people kind of minding their own. And the thing that's as you first walk in, because you all kind of walk in this cluster, right? And it's sort of abrupt a little bit, and it's almost like for a split second there's like that record stop scratch noise of like and like a handful of people look over to see
the unseen servant stops playing the piano.
Yeah, and then
that's
like,
how everybody knows to turn.
And most of them just shrug and then go back to what they're doing. But then as you go in, who was the first one? So Lucar, you were the first one in?
It sounded like it, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there's some guy that's sitting like on a bar stool next towards the front door, and he's facing you guys. He looks at you, Lucar, looks down at you and says, cover charge. Unless you're a member.
Oh, we're with the local 28 over in Windshire. I thought we had reciprocal arrangements.
What?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, try a persuasion check.
Well, I don't think that's going to do it because that is only a 11.
No, that's good. A 10 DC was sufficient because I was a pretty creative. That was a pretty creative approach. So if the approach is if the idea is good enough, then the DC can get to be a little bit lower. He says, oh, all right, what, all of you? There was no way that all of you are mages. There's just
no. I mean, like we're I'm a magic
mages.
user. She's a magic user. He's a magic user. Obviously, the puppet
wouldn't you like to be a magic user too?
Doesn't get charged.
I'm a +1. I'm a Zuri's +1.
We each bring a guest as well. That's how we do it over at the local 28. Is that not what you guys do here? Don't worry. We'll maybe we don't get the cover charge, but we'll definitely buy some food.
We do guests. It's fine. Just stay away. Like, yeah, fuck it. What? Yeah, just don't cause any trouble. All right.
Okay.
I know a lot of you guys just got fireballs coming out of your back pocket. So I mean, it's not like I can do that much, but against some of you people, but good to know. Good to know. Thanks. And thanks. And he hands you a bottle of Kashann. He hands you like a bottle of mead. For the subtle tip. And yeah. So you guys can meander around, talk to some people. Azuri, you actually notice in the very back, way back corner, you swear you can make out a bookshelf.
Oh
man.
And there's books on it.
Oh my gosh. I was not expecting this. Azuri's gonna sort of be like, does anyone want to lead like a pack to the back that way? I don't want to go that way by myself.
To the back?
Just go that way. Like the dartboard's like right there.
You mean to that bookshelf I can reach out and touch that one?
We'll be right here.
If it's right here, yeah. Just let me scoot up.
It's in the way back. It's not that. That's not the one that's right there by the. Those
are the menus, Velma.
That's just the fucking brochure display.
You go into
it's like you go into like an old Howard Johnson's or something, like those old restaurants in different towns, and it's like got all the brochures of like the caves and stuff you can go into, or like the air ballooning or whatever. And so yeah, that's the kind of stuff you see up front there. So your books are in the back.
You know what, Zuri? I will go with you. Well, I want to see what they have here too.
Right, let's go see. This is an odd place to have books, but
it's
I'm not complaining. We found books, it was a good day.
But we haven't even reached the books
on
yet.
Cursed items.
So, yeah. So you're okay. So you're heading to the books, and it sounds like nobody's following you because they don't.
Is Velma
care.
coming too for the cursed items, or?
Yes, I'm quite interested in cursed items. I need a magic user to help me interpret these books.
Okay.
If they were there.
I'm telling you, I'm looking for a cursed item.
But you're essentially going with Azuri, though. Like you and him are like together.
Yeah, he may not like it, but I've been spending a lot more time nearby.
I mean, I'm sure he's fine. He doesn't mind a little bit of companionship from the gang, from somebody in the gang, right? You guys are pals.
I mean, I just really don't want to go off alone here.
Melissa's going to.
That's the majority of it. Because I don't like the way some of these guys look.
What do you mean by that?
Just openly doing magic, like it freaks me out a little bit.
That's a little magist, I gotta say.
Yeah, what the heck?
I never knew this about you, Azuri.
It's just a lot to take in to like really flaunt it in like a public space. Anyways, let's go see the books.
Good thing you don't hang around the mage school very often.
I mean, honestly, if anybody should be mages, it's Velma who got fireballed. Like we should hold that. I would, like that would put me off of magic users for a while, but each their own.
So Astrid, leans into you, Lucar, and she just says kind of quietly into your ear, it's like, let's go get you a sandwich, man. Let's go.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Let's ditch these guys. Let's go network. Come on.
I hear you.
So you go off, like, we'll say that you're going to go like more like kind of just like pony up to the bar, kind of down a little bit, right? Down a little bit away from people. And you just kind of like, in whatever Lucar way you decide to exclaim that you need to eat.
Sir, madam, your finest Reuben, and make it a double, please.
I just imagine you going like sandwich and just like hopping up on a stool. And yeah, so the bartender, a rather chesty tiefling kind of leans into the bar and says, hey there, little guy, you want one of our Ruby Reubens, do you?
That would be fantastic. And if you could make it a double.
No, you want the 2-stack.
Yes, I mean, something that we have at the local 26 is you eat the 2-stack, you get a t-shirt. I don't know if there's any sort of picture on the wall, maybe any of those.
You think she kind of like, she like adjusts herself, and gets herself all, and she goes, oh, honey, we got something way better than that. And she points at the wall behind her, and there's a sign, and it just says the old 96er. and she's like, this thing is a solid 96-ounce Reuben sandwich. It's as big as your torso. You think you can handle it?
As long as it's not bigger than my torso, it should fit in there.
and she's like, all right, give us a little bit of time. We'll get one cooked up for you, and I'll bring it right out. But you got to eat it. You got 20 minutes to eat it. If you eat it in under 20, it's free.
Is there any mozzarella sticks to maybe like sort of warm up and stretch the gullet while I'm waiting for the Reuben?
Well, we got some. We just started making these things. They're called cheese lumps, and we take these little lumps of cheese and we put old dry bread on the outside of them, and we fry them in animal fat, and they're really crispy and gooey and cheesy. They're pretty good.
Yes, I've often said that if you're just going to give me a bunch of cheese, I'm going to say, no, that's disgusting. But if you bread it and fry it, bring them aboard, as many as you have. She reaches out like she's about to like pinch her cheek and be like you're so, but she stops herself and she's like, nope, got told can't touch the patrons, gotta stop doing that. She's like, man, you're a cutie. And she just like, she turns around and she's like, hey, give me an order of lumps. It's what kind of dipping sauce do you want? Do you have any marinara?
Oh, plenty. She's like, give me some of that. Give me some of that Sunday gravy back there. And so here it goes. Old 96er, side of lumps. Got it. And you just hear a bunch of clanging and all kinds of noise and stuff in the back. So you're waiting for your food. And I'm not clear what Skogar is actually doing, though.
Skogar went over to watch the telepathic dart competition.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or not, they're just playing darts, rather.
Yeah. So you see, like, you walk over and you see there's two mages playing, one mage is watching, and the two are like, and they're just like, they got a beer, they got an ale in one hand, and they're just like, they're holding darts in the other, but then you see them, they like open their hand, and then a dart just sort of like starts to hover and float and then shoot at the board. And they're like, and then they look over at you and they're like, and they kind of like eye you up and down, kind of weird. And they're like, what do you got? You trying to get in on this?
Yeah, I got 10 gold on the skinny elf up there.
And then
he looks over at the bystander.
The skinny elf goes, "Why, thank you, good sir. I do hope to make it worth your while." And he's like, I got next. And he just kind of
Skogar just goes, "Oi," and just puts the 10 gold in his gloved hand.
All right, so you're about to watch a competition, and Kashann, who's you're looking around to talk to Tabaxi. So like, who are the first? Let's say here, I'll roll a die to make it somewhat fair here, and we'll say you see two Tabaxi within the immediate vicinity. One is kind of like orangish white coloring, like an orange tabby cat kind of vibe, and then the other one is like a smoky gray.
Well, I'll go to the smoky gray one because there's the stereotypes about the orange ones that I just don't want to get into.
So you go up and so this Tabaxi, he's gray fur, looks a little bit like has a couple little scars on his face and one near his eye, and he kind of like sideways glances at you, and he doesn't say anything, he just kind of nods, just gives you the cool guy nod, and just turns back and like starts drinking his drink.
Morning, how's it going here?
He's like, and he holds his one finger up, and he like, hold on, and he goes, "Ugh." and then goes, and then stops, and then drinks some more. He's like, I mean, it's okay.
Yeah. I'm just, I've never actually been to this chapter. Honestly, this is my first time in, Oloth proper. But I've been, looking for, I guess, like a magic item that's kind of more related to your kind, like cat kind, like feline magic items.
Mm.
I got a friend back home. I gotta say I really like her, and she loves cats. So, and Tabaxi, of course, because I know it's totally different. Cats are cats, Tabaxi are Tabaxi, but I mean,
as you because when you first said, somebody back home and like she likes cats, like he scowls at you, and then you manage to save it by saying, well, I know you're different, and like, so the scowl kind of relaxes.
And it's not even that like Tabaxi all this cat stuff, but I did get a lead that there was a Tabaxi wizard who kind of specialized in feline type magic items, whether it was lanterns with whiskers, or cups of saucers always filled up with milk, never ending milk supply, or even cards, something like that. Just any type of magic item like that with that kind of Tabaxi feline kind of feel to it.
I mean, isn't anything we make gonna be that? Because we make it.
Well,
Tabaxi.
I mean, that does make sense, but I could say this It's like when you go to, like a tourist place, it's like, oh yeah, like the locals made this, but it's just some guy in a sweatshop down the street, like there's no like proof that, I'm looking for the authentic deal, you know what I'm saying? I don't want the street vendor guy who's got, 10 of the same leather wallet in the back. I want, this special deck of cards that I could say, or whatever, and say like, this was Tabaxi made, this is Tabaxi themed kind of thing.
Interesting. This there's a lot of newer trendy magic uses Tabaxi making shit and selling it. There's a couple stores around here in Olath, but that doesn't quite sound to me like that's what you're looking for.
Well, I mean, like what do they sell there? Is it like specific?
I mean, it's pretty standard. It's pretty standard fare with a Tabaxi flair. So you see what I just did there?
I like it.
That was pretty cool.
But, you guys work in somatic components. You're probably used to rhyming. It's
Do I look like a rhyme, or do you?
I mean, you look like you've been through some things, like. But
I mean,
like I've been through some things too, and I mean, I still got my looks, so it doesn't mean anything.
I mean, I've been through some shit. I fought the wars before the morning.
No kidding.
I got scars on the outside and on the inside. I think, yeah, a bunch of us did that. My squad leader, he's the one that kind of went a little batshit crazy, I guess you might call it. He got into some real dark shit after the morning happened. I might think he was into some dark stuff before. We just had no idea.
That's tragic. I have a friend back home. He's like basically, I guess you could say, just shut down all his memories about his time in the war. Like it's like he blacked it all out. So everybody's it's just trauma. Like it's continuing trauma that will. I don't feel like the cities, the countries are doing enough for those who are suffering through the morning. I mean, like that's a lot. Like that's something that's gonna like it leaves like a psychic scar just on the whole world.
Oh, you ain't lying, buddy. I mean, if I'm telling you, there's some spots in the Mournland, which some of us still call it Old Sire. We remember how it used to be, and I tell you, there's some places in the Mournland where some people are trying to live on the edge, and it's not going well. The rest of them are in. A lot of the rest of them are in New Sire. They had over in Brayland in the south there. They had to get out. It's bad news, but you might so there's this town. It's just north of us. It's called Shaduka, and it's there's a lot of old money Tabaxi that lived there, if you know what I say about old money, right? There's like deep history of Tabaxi that have migrated to that town. I mean, they rebuilt it from nothing.
Yeah.
So you might get more answers there. I mean, and I don't know if you can find my old squad leader. I mean, maybe he might know more than anybody else I would know that would know about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Does your old squad leader have a name, random NPC?
Says, well, my name is Joe Cash.
All right, Joe Cash. Kashann. Joe Cash. Kashann. That's Sorry.
Yeah, see, it fits. It works, right? You know.
It's like we were meant. This was meant to happen.
I think
feel,
I think it was.
and that's the thing. Like and, this is like my own personal like. I'm gonna get a little religious here. Like I feel like I was chosen for greatness. Okay, and it's like I'm on this path of destiny, as it were, and like you're on this path with me. I guess like we were meant to. Like I was meant to come here to find you, Kashann. Like it just. You see the connections, is what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, yeah, but
ways, right?
But let's be real. I'm probably like a I don't know, like a train stop on the journey at best.
Joe Cash, don't.
I'm not here for
short.
I'm not here for the long haul, buddy. I wasn't built that way.
Just remember this, Joe Cash. You're the main character in your story. Okay.
That's solid advice. There, buddy. That's solid advice. So yeah, you wanna find so we used to always call him Cousin Vinny because we thought it was funny.
I don't get the joke, but okay.
I mean, you had to be there, I suppose. But if I mean, I haven't seen him in so long. I really only remember calling him Cousin Vinny. And then he goes, and then he hears him. He's like, and he points his finger, holds up his finger again. And he turns. He's like, and he does that thing with his mouth, the cat's do, where he's like, but like nothing comes out. And he's like, and then drinks some more of his beer. He's like, hey, Morris, come here. And then the orange one comes over. He's like, yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, what do you want? What was the name of our squad leader? Oh, Cousin Vinny. Oh no, you jackass. What was his real name? Shit. Vincenzo. That's what it was. Vincenzo. I think it's spelled like VENCSHENSZZOH. I don't know. I can't spell for shit, honestly. I got a nice short name. Morris. MORS. Easy. Morris. He's like, all right, well, hey. Yeah, I'm gonna go back over here because I don't care about that guy. And he points at you, Kashann. He just goes back over to whatever he was doing. Like he was just there to fill a gap, and now he's gone back to doing his own thing. And Joe Cash is like, you can't always pick your crew.
Don't I know that? Don't I know that, Joe? I kind of give him like a fist bump.
And as you do the fist bump, like the hits, right, and then all of a sudden we flash to Lucar, and Lucar's finishing his last. He's like, he pops the last cheese lump and eats it. And the bartender, she's spending way more time with you than she needs to, because she's just she finds like small, assertive males really enticing. She's like, you need something to drink?
That would be fantastic. You have a house ale of some sort?
Yeah. We got you covered. I got you covered. And she goes and she gets a big tall mug of ale and slaps it down on the table. Says, that's kind of a weird that's a weird ass puppet you got on your shoulder there. And Astrid just goes and waves to her.
Yep. He's interesting.
Astrid just kind of, she hops down off your shoulder, walks over to the beer, looks at it, looks at you, Lucar, looks at it, looks at the bartender, and is like, you got a straw? And
no.
And she pulls out a straw and hands it, and like Astrid takes it, and it's really huge. So she holds it up like it's a quarterstaff, as she like jumps up and like gets and like dunks it into the beer. And then she's like, Luke, do the string thing again so you can lift me up a little bit, huh? Come on. Do the thing.
All
She's
right.
like, oh, and then she just grabs onto the top of the straw and just starts like drinking down the ale. And then she stops and she lets out this big belch that Skogar can hear all the way in the back. And she just then she's like, oh, you can let me down. And then she gets back down onto the bar top as the bartender brings out the old 97 Reuben out to sit in front of you, and it lands on the bar with a thud, bassy thud, as she's like, all right. It's like, and then she announces to the bar, say, we got another contender for the old 97. And she's like, what's your name? What's your name?
Lucar.
His name's Lucar, and he's going to eat this whole big ass sandwich in less than 20 minutes. And if he does, he eats it for free. And also the rest of you all hear that Lucar is about to enter this eating challenge. Does anybody care to witness this? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Wow.
Yeah, no, Azuri's going to use this 20 minutes Azuri's going to use this 20 minutes to go ahead and try to read through, or at least skim like 2 or 3 of the books on the bookshelf.
So Kashann, all right, I'm curious, see what they bring out. When they bring out the actual food, I was like, oh, I seem to eat more than that, and I just turn away. Like, oh, that's not a big deal.
Okay.
And I will go to like the poker table where Velma's and just kind of like look at the cards to see if they're cat themed.
No cat themed cards. That'd be too easy. And and then Lissa, did you go back to the books too?
Yeah, checking out the books.
All right. What are you looking for?
So she's looking for any books about Fae. Really interested. Yeah, see if there's anything there.
Roll a D4.
Azuri's looking for anything about Dreaming Dark.
Okay. Both of you roll a D4.
Oh, a D4. Okay. I got a 1.
You find one book on the Fae.
Woo!
3.
I skim it.
Azuri, you find 2 books and a pamphlet on the Dreaming Dark on the shelves.
Actually gonna start with the pamphlet.
And it's just like, and the sign up above the shelf says, it says, take a book, leave a book, share your knowledge.
Oh, perfect. And she pulls a book out of her pack and sets it on there.
What's the book you're giving back?
Botany for bullfrogs.
Nice. All right. We're 5 minutes into the eating competition. Lucar, how far gone is that sandwich right now?
I would imagine I start off strong, so it's probably half gone.
Okay, let's. I was about to say roll a percentile.
Percentile.
Yeah. And that's how much will be gone.
Ooh, 28%.
All right. Yeah, you're over a quarter of the way through. 5 minutes. Nice. You're pacing well. So we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you momentarily. And then, so Lissa, you're looking through the Fae book, and you see like there's, it's basically like an in-world monster manual type vibe, but just for things that you find in the Fae realm.
Nice.
And yeah, you see there's all kinds of stuff about, actually there's a section, weirdly enough, there's a section on halflings, and halfling fairies, and it's like this like weird subspecies of halflings that are directly connected to the Fae world, and you just find that really intriguing.
I bookmark, dog ear that page.
Nice.
Definitely going back.
Yeah, so you're reading through. Azuri is just kind of huddled in the corner reading intensely, like with his arms up and stuff, like not paying any mind to anybody. Skogar, your buddy's up to play darts now. And he gets ready and he's like, so he throws his first dart and he gets just outside the bullseye. He's like, oh, what a great start. This is perfect. This is great. And he says, he's like, what say you? What do you think? How am I doing?
Keep it up there, kid. But yeah, stand a little to the left, I think.
Says, okay, I'll do my best. How's this? And he moves over. Says, is that enough?
Yeah, right there. Give that a whirl.
All right. So then he levitates another dart and flings it, and this one hits the wall. Doesn't even hit the board. It's like, oh crap! And the other guy that's playing, he gets 2 bullseyes that he's playing against. Said if only I knew someone who had really great aim who could help teach me some things, I'd be so much better at this. And then he levitates another dart and throws it, and this one actually gets like right in the middle, not as many points as the first one he shot. And the other guy throws another one that's just outside the bullseye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's getting you're the guy that you bet on is getting his ass kicked currently.
Oh yeah.
Just
I bet the wrong horse.
So then you're looking around at cards. So you essentially, like Kashann, you've got some information that you got a little bit of a nugget of info that you need to know that you're likely not going to find what you need here. Lucar, roll a percentile die again.
You're not going to believe this. I rolled 100.
You did not.
0, 0, 0. Yep.
So the bartender goes, wait, stop. Holy shit. And she runs over like to the back corner of the bar, like to the back corner of her bar area. And she rings this bell that's hanging on the wall. And she's like, first ever beat it. Ate the old 96er in half the time. It's a new record. And the people that actually care about it, like just start like freaking out, screaming, yelling, hooting and hollering and clapping. And a bunch of people you have no idea who they are, just coming up to you and patting you on the back and slapping you on the back really hard. And it's kind of making you a little nauseous because you're still like letting that Reuben settle. Because I mean, you ate a lot of it really fast.
Reversal of fortune.
What's that?
When the guys lose those eating competitions, they call it a reversal of fortune.
Yeah, so you're kind of like doing this, or you're like putting 2 fingers up to your mouth to like, and then Astrid sees this and she's like, hey, and she's swatting at people, saying, leave him alone. He's got to throw up on you, you dummies. And she's trying to swat him away. As you finish the sandwich successfully, and then she grabs like this like kind of rickety looking, it looks like the kind of like the camera that Velma has, but a lot more rickety and less fancy. And she holds it up and she presses a button and it's like, and like a flash of light goes off in your face. And then when you can finally see again, you see that there's a somewhat blurry picture of you just stuck to the wall with your name written at the bottom of it.
Oh my! I can't believe I wasted 100 on an eating 100 on the dice for an eating contest.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. And she's like, do you need any dessert there? It's on the house.
Yes, that would be fantastic. What do you have?
Well, we got cheesecake. All kinds of cheesecake.
Yes.
It's where we take slabs of cheese and we put it in between layers of cake.
I'll do it. Have another ale, please.
Yeah, of course. And then she's like, she sets you up with a cheesecake and an ale. And Astrid just shakes her head and just sits on the bar waiting for you to finish eating. And Velma, what's Velma doing? We haven't heard much from you.
Well, Velma's back at the bookshelf with the other two. She's specifically looking for anything that is written in Quarry, which is the language she knows, and she knows that the cursed dagger is of that origin. If she cannot find anything like that, she will just flip through random books looking at pictures if she does not understand the language, looking for something similar to the dagger.
Roll a d20. Straight d20. Tell me what you get.
11.
All right. You find one book where parts of it are written in Quarry and the other parts are written in Common.
Awesome. Still flipping through looking at pictures.
Mm-hmm.
If there is an interesting picture, then I could read the caption and attached article.
Yeah, so you're reading about cursed items as a that are used as a gateway for the Quarry to see into the real, to get into the real world and influence those that have those items to work for their bidding and carry out their activities for good or for bad. And that's the kind of stuff that you see, like kind of, you patch it together under multiple pictures and drawings and stuff that are in the book of like people in like really dicey situations, right? Holding like weapons that are glowing in weird colors and just doing odd looking things, like really bad AI drawings looking like, almost, right? Where it's like the knives are kind of like someone's holding like a dagger and it's curved in a really weird way, like that doesn't seem effective, and all that kind of stuff. So you're getting some information on like understanding, like, that you're just confirming that that dagger that you are stuck with and always tempted to utilize is a problem. And it's a much bigger problem than you probably first envisioned that it was. So I would say, so unless there's something else anybody wants to do, so the dark guy, the guy you bet on, Skogar, loses in darts, and just kind of looks at you and shrugs, and he's like, "Sorry, I tried, I really did."
Yeah, sure. You should have put my money on the eating competition. Apparently,
I'm far better. I'm far better at I mean, it's embarrassing to say, but I'm far better at what they call. I believe this region calls it a booga spitting, I think.
No way.
I mean, I did win competitions back home, after all.
I mean, it makes sense. You got that like super wide nostrils there, like mine. Yeah.
See, we refer to them in our region as snot shots.
That's a pretty cool way of putting it.
Maybe perhaps you'd like to come by. I think it's about 2 days from now. There'll be a competition here.
Now that's something I would definitely put some money down on. I'll smell you later.
Oh, I see what you did there. It's rather funny.
Yeah.
Thanks for trying to put your faith in me. I do appreciate it. Maybe one day the gods will shine brightly down upon you for your kind gesture. Sorry I could not deliver. And kind of walks away and fades, like kind of merges and fades into the group, right? So if you guys start to head out of the bar, you notice that it's now like what was once morning is now closer to midday. Probably late morning, early afternoon, let's say. And
So
you are
guys ready for another meal? Is what I'm
right. So you're in Olaf, and Lukar, you know that that the satellite, that the apothecary, there's an apothecary here. Do you want to go check on how business is doing? You're on mute.
I think we're still looking for leads, right? To help Kashann out. I mean, Kashann, do you have anything better that lead wise? If not, we could ask my cousins if they know anything.
actually no. I do have a lead on a name, an old squad leader in Shadukar, which is a city north of here that specializes in more tabaxi and related magic items like I'm looking for. So I think Shadukar is our next stop, but we can definitely ask your cousins. Maybe they've heard some things.
All right, then let's go to the
I don't want to leave here without, covering all bases, I guess, or as many bases as we can.
All right.
Let's go check it out.
So you leave. Yeah, so Azuri, everybody's leaving the bar now. I don't know how long ago you left, but Lukar won the eating contest because he rolled 100 on a percentile die. So one might say he ate the rest of the sandwich and then part of another one even. So that happened. Skogar found a potential booger spitting compatriot in the dark game. Lissa found a cool Fey book. Kashann got info, and Velma also got a cool book.
And I read the pamphlet.
Yeah,
on the Dreaming Dark while I was on there. Yeah,
you read the pamphlet, and this pamphlet is all about how the Dreaming Dark use weapons on this plane of existence as a gateway.
That doesn't sound good.
Like cursed weapons. So kind of interesting parallel pathing going on here, but we'll leave that alone for now. So yeah, you guys exit and you head to the apothecary. And so you get to you come up and Lukar, this is probably one of the nicer ones you've seen. Like it's nice whitewashed outside walls on the outside, and just above there's a sign that hangs, still shower apothecary, and then it's got a number. It says number 3 next to it, and it's just, and there's every once in a while you see somebody walk in, somebody come out. Like it's a decent traffic flow. And you going in, I assume.
Yep.
And
yes.
Astrid's still on your shoulder.
Yes.
Okay. So you walk in and you see 2 halflings hustle bustling around. One of them's doing these really cool displays of like products and stuff, and like these really cool angular designs and very complex looking. And then the other one is like finishing up a drawing, like a design on a sign, which looked like the kind of signs you would find like hanging up way up high in like a Trader Joe's or something, with like chalk art on them and stuff, with rutabagas 89 cents or whatever, like just that kind of deal. And so they're busy, and then the bell rings as you open the door, right? And then you hear from the back of the shop, and it's your mom, and she comes bounding up, and she's like all excited, and she and she goes in to run to give you a big hug, and she just comes in and gives you a big hug, and she's not a halfling, so she's really tall, so she's hugging your head and and holding you like oh, I'm so glad to see you. How are you?
Oh, we're doing great, Mom. I'm just here spending a long weekend with our friends here in Olaf, and we thought we'd stop by and say hi to the cousins, see how the shop's doing.
Oh, it's doing great. It's doing great. Parker over there, he's he's really good at the displays, Luki. I think, I mean, I don't want you to get upset, but I think some of his displays are even better than some of the ones you used to do.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I don't think displays are in my future, so it's probably good that we have somebody else who can do a good job.
I mean, you're a big, fancy, smart student. You're probably more at the entrepreneurial level of the family, I would say, by now, right, Luki? I mean,
yeah, I'm learning quite a lot.
Bigger and better, no pun intended.
None taken.
What is that awful and cute thing on your shoulder there? And further, Astrid's just like slumped, sitting on your shoulder, like not moving or anything, just slumped.
Oh, this is a puppet I picked up along my travels, named Astrid.
It's kind of strange. What is it? Like, do you control it? What is it? Is it a toy? What is this thing?
Yeah. So anyhow, Mama, how's the store doing?
Oh, Lukey, it's doing so good. It's doing so good. We've seen just the last quarter was the busiest in sales we've had in a while. It's gone pretty well. The cousins are doing a great job. They're doing so good.
Well, one of the reasons we stopped in because my friend here, maybe you met him before, Kashann. He's looking for some information, and they thought maybe Olaf might have it. So
he doesn't look familiar. You go to school with my boy there?
Yeah, but we don't do a lot of classes together.
Were you around like last year?
Here and there.
Anyhow, Ma, he's looking for some information that'll help. It'll really help with his schooling, and maybe you could ask the cousins, unless you know a lot of what's going on.
When you turn, your voice goes off, and I can't hear you.
So anyhow, Ma, like
there you are.
He's looking for some information. He's going on a quest, and he's hoping that maybe he could ask some questions and really help him out at school. So maybe if you or the cousins know anything about Olaf, he can ask you some questions, right?
Well, that's pretty fancy. Why don't you go catch up with the cousins, and I'll talk to your friend here. Where's that other guy that was he was kind of tall, and he always looked a little different every time I saw him when I came to visit you. Where's he?
Yeah, he just still looks a little different.
Jackie or something? Jack?
Yeah,
I hear he got a professional contract on Blazeball, so he actually dropped out of school.
No fooling.
He's touring the world. Blazeball. He's looking to get into the championship this year.
Man,
he's got a pretty good team this year, but yeah, I think that's where he's at.
I can't believe it. Well, good for him.
He single-handedly turned. Like it's one of those rags to riches stories. Like the worst team in the league, but all of a sudden they're like, holy cow, they're number one. You should check it out in the papers.
Don't they? I think they're calling those like Cinderella stories or something.
Something like that. Exactly. Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah. So that guy was, he's got a good story. It's pretty good.
So, what can I do for you?
So I'm looking for a tabaxi wizard, I guess. We talked to some guys. I'm looking for a deck of cat things. I'm not saying it. It's like a deck of cards, like a magic item.
Things.
Yeah, cat things. It might have a different name. But if you just go with that and extrapolate what you think the name might be, if it's different from that,
So
like a good search engine would, know what I was talking about without me having to say the word.
so I've been in the. I mean, I don't know if Lukey told you. I mean, we've been in this business for a while.
Yeah, he mentioned that between bites.
I mean, we've seen. I know it's kind of hard to get a word in edgewise when my boy he's hungry and he needs to eat.
I see him over there eating a chicken wing right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. He carries them in his pockets, and he's kind of cute.
Yeah, that's
I mean, that's my boy. That's my boy. Well, hey, I'm sure you have a loving, doting mom that thinks stuff you do is cute that other people think is weird or gross or dumb. Don't be mean now, boy. Don't be mean.
That's actually a very sensitive subject with me, Mrs. Lucar. So I would appreciate
Mrs. Lucar.
I would appreciate if we didn't, talk about my family. It's just a very sore subject for me. So
she puts her hand on your shoulder. My apologies, hon. So I don't know if you know or not. I mean, maybe you do, but that town that Shadukar, there's lots of that seems to be like I don't even know the right way to say it because I don't want to sound offensive. It's kind of like where a lot of tabaxis went to run away from stuff.
Okay, no, I get that. That's probably exactly where I want to be, and that kind of confirms with this other information that I got. So I do appreciate your help.
But you gotta, I mean, it's like it's like half a day's hike north up the way to Shadukar. I mean, it's not super far, but you gotta be careful going through the burnt wood though. There's I mean, it's getting better, but it's still not great.
Well, that's some good advice. I'll keep our eyes and ears open. My only question is, I don't want to be offensive either, but does Shadukar have that, that cat smell?
It's got some kind of smell, but I don't think it's cat.
Okay. Just, it is what it is, right? I'm just, trying to mentally prepare myself.
There's lots of dander. Lots of dander.
I guess that's probably like Azuri seems like he'd be the allergic one. I just had the sense about him.
when it's a certain temperature outside, you can see it rolling through the streets like tumbleweeds.
That sounds actually disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen it once or twice, so it's not too bad, I suppose. So we cut over to Lucar, who approaches the cousins. Is anybody else coming with Lucar for that exchange? Like anybody else want to look around in the apothecary, look for anything?
Lissa settled into a corner and she's still reading her book.
Okay. Skogar, has Skogar won anything from the apothecary?
No, I think he's good. Okay. Yeah. He's looking around, smelling things, quite befuddled.
You hear one of the cousins go, so there's a male and a female cousin, and they're halflings that are working in here. And the female one says, "Oh, I swear to God, this is every time I try to get these stupid maps rolled up, they just don't work right."
Yeah, you got to roll it with the print in, he says over his shoulder.
And she looks up at you and she bats her eyes at you and she's like, Can you show me, please?
Hey, Joni, stop flirting with my friend.
says, Luca, I haven't seen you in forever. She's like, it's been so long you forgot my name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm your other cousin, Raina.
Hey, Raina, I'm sorry. You remind me so much of Joni. But anyhow, Raina, don't be flirting with my friend Skogar there.
Luca, look at these maps. I'm doing a horrible job. I'm really not good.
Yeah.
They're too big for me.
Well, Skogar got the right idea. Put the print side in. You fold that part first. Leave him alone now.
And she starts to roll up her maps. And but it's taking her forever. She's going really slow. And she's just grumbling because she's mad that like she was going to get help and you ruined it.
Speed things along. Ma's going to be mad at you.
She's like
a little looser, and you'll have it. It's like, rolling it too tight.
Yeah, sure, boss. Whatever. You never even come around. You just come here and boss people around. I thought you were cool. You
Parker,
were a lot
how you
cooler
doing?
when you were a kid.
I turn around. Hey, Parker, how you doing?
She says, all right. How you doing, cousin?
That's what I like to hear.
I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. Comes up and like gives you this weird like familial bro hug. And I need Lissa, could you do a perception check?
Absolutely.
Please.
All right, let's see. That's a 17.
Okay. So you see as you see the hug about to happen, because you're like, who's that halfling talking all weird like that, right? And as you see the hug about to happen, you see Astrid all of a sudden like kind of perks up. Astrid perks up and then like goes like this real quick to the halfling cousin, Parker, and then just like puts her hand back down.
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
then you see Parker go. You see Parker go and nod when the thumbs up, after the thumbs up happens, and then he leans in and starts to bro hug Lucar.
She pulls a pen out of her pocket and writes Parker, you said, in the edges of the book somewhere.
Yeah. Only you see this happen.
Okay.
Nice. And Parker's like, yeah, Luke, things are going pretty. You like what you think of my displays? Huh? I learned it from you.
Yeah, you're doing a good job there, Parker. I'm sure Ma's pretty proud of you.
I think I'm doing all right. You know, I just gotta say, I mean, I'm trying to up the game. We're trying to stack it up in here. We're trying to stack the Galifar, man. That's how you get the stores. You got to stack that money.
Yeah, first you stack the money, then you get the stores, then you get the women. Am I right?
I mean, I already have plenty of women. You know.
You should come out and visit me in Windshire. You know what they say about those college girls? You get older, they stay the same age.
All right. And he just kind of nods and he's like, and he just points back towards another display and just kind of like gives you the knowing nod of like I got to get back to work. And he's like,
thanks for opening up the new shop. Ma's real proud of you.
He's like, time is money. Yeah, well, don't fail out of school, all right? This is she's going to be pissed at you.
I'm not going to. Don't worry. I'm doing
so y'all.
Well.
You do at least an all right job, or better.
I'll do 3 all rights.
All right. That's what I like. So yeah, he goes back to like doing the display and stuff. And then Lissa, another perception check, if you would, please.
18.
Ooh, nice. So this time you look and you see Astrid look at Raina, who's rolling up maps. You see Raina look at Astrid. You see them make eye contact, and Astrid scowls at her and just shakes her head and just goes like this and goes no.
Huh.
And then Raina just looks with this inquisitive look and then just goes and like slumps, looking defeated as she goes and rolls the map back up. So I'm assuming you guys are done in the apothecary correct? That sounds about like it feels like it's a good place to close off for that part of the adventure. Yeah. Okay. Is then Kashann, would the next step be to head to Shadukar at this point?
Yeah, maybe stopping, maybe picking up some catnip from Lucar's store here, and heading over there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a wise move. There's many different types of catnip available from different regions that you can pick some that is that's of a premium but not too premium price, because as your pockets are flush with cash.
I want something like subtle too, like not like I'm obviously trying to impress, but also just enough to get that extra
Yeah, so you pick like just a skosh above average tier, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you get yourself a little container of it, and you put it in your pouch or your pack. And you guys all head out. You're just gonna hike there, I'm assuming.
At this point, I think we're just giving up on timing, huh? Like we're just not going to get it all done before the end of the weekend.
I mean, we'll go to Shadukar. Hopefully that's the answer, and we'll get a lightning rail out of there.
Sounds like a plan.
One would hope.
What could possibly go wrong?
You start hiking along the coastline, and you can see, because there's a trail that runs. There's like a road path that runs right along the coastline, along the river, and that on the other side is the Mournland, because you just see the dead gray mist, and it's like this wall of mist that just separates you guys from seeing anything in the Mournland. It's just like all you see is gray mist. You can make out like the reddish pink sands that are discolored from the blood of the many that have died on that soil during the morning, that left no trace behind them. And so there's really creepy vibes. You're walking down the path, and you see the burnt wood forest on your left, and it literally is just so many, like, the trees look burnt, although they're not really burnt. They're just so like dark and twisted, and like the leaves are sparse, even though it's like not, it hasn't, like, fall hasn't really like fully kicked in yet. It just looks sad and like it's been defeated. And from a historical standpoint, anybody that, likely Velma might know this, is that the burnt wood was actually damaged, was collateral damage in the morning, which is why it looks like that, and which is also why it's like a kind of a sketchy area. So who's leading the group?
I don't know. I guess this is my party.
Okay.
I'll take the lead.
You'll lead if you want to.
Yeah.
So as you're walking, you can, easily with passive perception, you hear some branches crack up ahead.
All right. I pull out the long sword and I get myself ready, and I'm moving closer, like, all right, let's see what's
due to the proximity to Mournland. A lot of the stuff in this wood could be mutated, so be careful.
All right.
So you're holding your stance. You're not moving forward.
No, I am moving. I'm going up to explore what that noise was.
As you go a little bit further down the path, you hear more cracks, and then from the dark of the woods comes out this what you perceive to be a human or humanoid figure comes walking out, and it's hard to make out what they look like because they've got a hood on. So whatever they're wearing, like a tunic or like, like a medieval version of like a hoodie, right? But they've got like the hood is covering their face, so you really can't see what they look like. And then behind them in the distance, you can see some other shadowy figures that are slowly starting to peek through the woods. And that first one that walks out looks at you, Kashann, and says, So you're going to give you and all of them, you're going to give us all your money and all your valuables, or you're all dead. And that's where we're going to end.
Bum, bum, bum.
So that's your little cliffhanger. Appreciate the pivot at the start with the transporter, because that made my life a lot easier to get things moving. So, and then there's still plenty of other stuff I can leverage when I get to my actual the shit I wrote down. I'm so mad that happened. But yeah, okay. So quick little synopsis of like 2-minute synopsis of what we've learned. So Lissa's read up a lot more on the Fae, and would likely see if she continues to research more on the Fae, it's likely that anything Fae related, any perceptions that are related to Fae, she might get an advantage on, if she continues this path of reading. And then Azuri learned a little bit more about the Dreaming Dark and the connection to cursed weapons. Lucar, you learned that you can eat a giant sandwich. Kashann,
Is that
I didn't learn that.
Yeah.
I didn't learn it. I just proved it.
you confirmed it. Kashann, you know that Shadukar should have an unlock for you in some way, shape, or form on your quest. Velma learned more about cursed weapons. And Skogar probably.
Skogar just looks up longingly up into the sky. Oh, may our paths cross once again, my snotty friend.
I tried the best I could to give a little something to everybody. So, in the hopes of continuing some stories. So we will pick back up next week with more action and excitement. And we're actually going to finally roll some dice and have some fights.
What?
It only took like 3 weeks, but
D&D? What?
But we got there. I know. It's
Like setting up a new campaign again.
Right. The thing that's tricky, like, so it's like I'd be like, I was thinking like, maybe I should try to incorporate like a dungeon crawl somewhere or something, but it's trying to find the right balance of like role play to get to the story, to get to the fights and the cool battles. So it's like trying to balance it out. Like, would you guys have any interest in some dungeon crawl action?
I think there's room for that.
Okay,
because since we've hit level 5, yeah, I think a lot of us got character boosts at level 5. So
I can work that in.
Speaking for myself, Skogar's itching to swing some stuff. I'm sure everybody else got super boosted at 5.
Yeah. Speaking of Kashann, what level are you?
5.
Not anymore. You're now level 5.5. Just kidding. You're level 6.
Very good. I'm gonna take a different. No, I'm gonna stick with it.
All of a sudden, next week he's like got a guitar.
I'm a bard now. Yeah.
and he's a bard. He's like, I'm a level 1 bard. I'm still better than that shitty NPC bard that we fought in season 1.
Oh, that guy.
That jerkwad.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for letting me show up late, and hope you had fun. And we'll have a good week and see you next week. Yeah.
Yep.
Peace
Good
out.
Of course.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yep. Thanks.
Bye.
Well, we haven't ended on a cliffhanger in quite some time. Kashann even got a level up. I suppose you might wonder where the milestone event was that gave Kashann a level. Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. For some reason, Velma keeps wanting to spend time hanging out with Azuri. Doesn't anyone else find that to be strange? I hope the gang can make short work of these malcontents that are threatening their lives. Be sure to come back and listen to the next session of Eberron Adventures, brought to you by the Wednesday Night Crew. Thanks for the support, and see you next week. Hey there, listeners. Would you like to support the Wednesday Night Crew as we go on adventures in Eberron, as well as play through other game systems as we have in the past, like Ice Fleet and Alien the role-playing game? If you're interested in supporting us, just go to patreon.com/Eberron Adventures, and then maybe you could be as cool as Jonathan and Andrew, our first 2 supporters. Once again, that's patreon.com/Eberron Adventures. Donate and get your name in the credits. I mean, that's kind of cool. Anyways, thanks for your support, and as always, we'll see you next week.